we get it.
It was a good shot, but anyway. Mr.
Okay.
David Ellison, how are you doing, sir? It's been a good while.
It has been very, very long time. Like I don't even quite remember what year we did the original one, but
it happens.
I'm still here.
You're still standing, as they say it. And yes, I remember since you and I met, it was a tour rehearsal for the Goo Goo Dolls. And we were doing behind the scenes for my TV show, Bean Toon TV for teens. And I followed the Goo Goo Dolls behind the scenes. And that's where I sat down and interviewed you. And yes, indeed, it has been quite some time, but it has been such a pleasure reconnecting with you. Years go by and I understand it's a blur. This is why I send you the photo, a blast in the past of you.
Yeah.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that. I found it. And so I wanted to say that you have been a survivor in this industry. You have been in this music industry for a very long time. It shows your tenacity, in my opinion, being in the business. But back in the day, I understand that you founded this band called Royal Crescent Mob. I was actually surprised to find that out. I love it because who would have thought that Dave Ellison was in the rock band? I thought that was great.
A little slice of my past, despite all
Love
my
it.
attempts to keep it quiet, has not been possible.
Right. You were somehow on this tribute tour and Dave Grohl came up to you to say hello and ask you who you're with. And lo and behold, Miley Cyrus, who you're representing now, one of the biggest names in Hollywood, was standing right next 2 feet away. And he turns to her and says, basically in so many words, that he is a big fan growing up. So that must have been super cool to hear that.
Yeah. Dave was lived in the DC area and worked at the 930 Club back in the day, and we would play there
Oh my
quite
God.
frequently. And he was a fan, and
I love that.
We've run across each other a few times at different festivals and whatnot. And this particular one was when Dave had put together the festival, tribute for Taylor Hawkins, who I
That's
worked
right.
with on Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill tour. And Miley was good friends with Taylor, and so she was performing that night. And lo and behold, Dave turned to her and said, "No, this guy, I loved his band."
Who doesn't love David Ellison as far as I'm concerned? I had virtually the same reaction as Miley Cyrus. I'm like, when did I know this? It's like the whole entire time that I know David Ellison, I never even knew about this. And that must have been wild for you and most likely good to hear.
It puts a smile on my face.
Especially having Dave Grohl as your fan. I mean, who's going to say no to that? So what drives you to success?
Well, it is the desire to be working. I enjoy the aspects of putting the tour puzzle together, so to speak, and logistics behind it. Obviously, there are times where I'm thinking, what the heck am I doing? It can be exhausting. But in general, I enjoy the challenge of it all. I'm trying to make it run as smoothly as possible. And at the end of the day, putting your artist in a position where they are comfortable and go on stage and give the best performance they can for the fans that are out there and they're paying for the tickets.
That's the standard that you guys deliver as part of the artist's great team, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Now, when you say you love the aspect of challenges, what exactly are you referring to? Do you love solving a puzzle when challenges come your way and sort of be that problem solver?
Well, yeah, a lot of times you are given a task that may seem, if not impossible, a little bit out of the blue. Like, okay, give me a moment. All right, here's what we'll, let me try to figure this out. And whether it's realistic or it's kind of outrageous, not that it's crazy outrageous, like no one's asking me to do ridiculous things, but especially with a lot of the younger artists that I've worked with, a lot of times their management companies are young and new and not that experienced in things, and they're trying to make their artists happy, and sometimes they're can be slow to making decisions on things. So you're not giving a whole, by the time it gets to me and to the team, we're not given a whole lot of time to execute it. So it's just a matter of how we're going to put together as quickly as possible to make it happen.
So we all know that Hollywood has a lot of pressure, right? How do you handle pressure in life?
Make it a point to look out for my physical well-being. I do yoga, I work out a lot, I eat right.
Very nice.
Uh, yeah, it's easy to get caught up in like, I don't have time to do it, but an hour out of your day, the world's not going to crumble.
That's what I always say to the younger folks as well. Self-care in this respect is very important. In fact, it's crucial in my experience. When you're ready to come out, the world will be waiting for you. The problems will be there. The issues will be there because nothing is more important than you being together and being centered. So, do you believe in faith?
My destiny fate was in that band, and then the band broke up and I had to do something.
Sure.
I never thought I'm going to get into the live touring industry.
I didn't plan for it.
Did not plan for it, but I've worked hard to get to where I'm at.
What does it take for anyone of your professionalism and get represented by people like you in Hollywood?
Dedication, hard work, talent, kindness, humility, empathy. Those go a long way with making you someone who could succeed or might succeed in the industry. Doesn't suck to be nice.
What was the hardest challenge that you had in your managing career?
The hardest challenge? Well, probably the hardest challenge. I mean, look, I've had some curveballs tossed my way. Sure, but I think, but the hardest challenge is maintaining balance, relationships, especially with my wife. I'm not traveling as much as I used to back in the day, but that's by choice. Being on tour is la la land, that's for sure. And I've often told people, don't take this home with you, because that's not what your life at home is going to be like. If you take the tour bus into your house, you're in trouble.
This people work so hard. There's an army of people. Yes, you may see us with adoring fans now, but we work, the scenes that you don't even know about. We go through stuff as well. Now, are you willing to pay for that? So if you are you willing to, take on those things? And if you are, great. Then, you will have that chance of being a rock star someday. So I think unveiling those things behind the scenes, I think, is very important because, again, you don't want to be caught up with just the facade of, like you said, not bringing the the tour bus home, and you can't distinguish which one is real or not, and you don't want that. You want to be real. You want to know yourself, number one. You have to know what you want. You know your priorities. You know your partners, and you know who's supporting you. And I think once you're centered in that respect, you become all the more powerful. I mean, look at you. I really cite you as a good example. You have been supportive, David, of the kids for a long time. Your eyes always lit up, and you caught my eye when I was even interviewing a bunch of people, including you at the Goo Goo Dolls concert. You were not only one of the kindest, and you're the type who only not say what you mean what you say. And you were very real right from the beginning, which is why I was determined to find you again, because I thought you were such a perfect candidate for the show. And I did successfully. This is really wonderful. It makes my whole heart sing. This is great. So are there any aspects in the industry that you perhaps could skip and not really your favorite in the music industry?
Oh, gee.
If not, then, it's okay too.
Nothing's popping in my head off the top of my head.
No problem at all. And you somehow decided not to be in Hollywood. Did you do that on purpose too? Or, you're somewhat in California.
I'm in Northern California, up in the mountain area.
Yes.
My wife's parents are up here. So we have moved, or we got a house up here, and I've just spent most of the time up here. It was to help her. She wanted to be closer to them to help out. And
very nice.
We're down in LA, and I'm down there when I'm having a rehearsal, but it's a little,
sure.
I live in a town of 33,000 people and very quiet. I get my yayas out on the roads and come home. It's nice to just not have
That's
to
good.
Battle.
That's good.
Wait. So.
That's good. So what's your message to the younger folks, the younger generation who are struggling with tough challenges such as stress, like I said, anxiety, depression these days? What's your message to them?
Like I, said earlier, persevere, believe in yourself, believe in what you're doing, and be kind.
Wow. Straight to the point, right? Yes.
No time for-
I love that about you. I mean, you have been around the block, so it's like you don't have time for that. And I love that because we're about being real. This is why, I wanted to talk to you. I know somehow you would be perfect in this show because, first of all, you've done it before. This is just a podcast version of it. And, it's about being real in life. It's an honest conversation. It's not about, I always tell people the show is not about, we're not a tabloid thing. We don't ask about personal stuff. We're not interested in that. We're interested in, who inspired you and blah, blah, blah. We want to be a part of the solution for the younger generation and better their lives. And we're not about the opposite. So we're very proud of that theme and that objective. And I'm even more prouder when I have guests like you. So that's, fantastic. But could you imagine yourself being someone else? In other words, if you would have had a different type of role than what you have now, would you have imagined it?
A different, oh,
Like if you were doing another career successfully as well today, would you equally be satisfied with that? If you like what you see, don't miss a moment. Subscribe and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X.
oh yeah, I think, like I said earlier, I really, I love sports. If a couple things I would have had a better ACT score and gotten into Miami University, I probably would be an athletic trainer right now, but that didn't happen.
And you've always had that growing up. Like you.
Yeah. I get really fascinated with the movement, professional sporting teams, like it's the whole concept of, not that, I mean, it is different.
Yes. That's very interesting.
But, that was my thing is like, I was going to go to either Ohio State or Miami University, but Ohio State was too big. Miami was a possibility,
Right.
but I didn't have the grades, so get study.
Yeah, exactly. That's another one, folks. David Ellison says, study your homework, study your tests, and
No
everything else.
ChatGPT on your ACT and SATs.
Yeah, exactly. You can go a long
Do
way
the
too. That's part of the hard work, I think, that you guys
Or
should
take it again,
listen
which
to.
we didn't do back in my day.
Exactly. Can you imagine? But someone else will say, well, hey, David, you didn't do bad yourself either, even if.
Yeah. I'm okay with where I landed. Yeah,
exactly. Sure. So it's like you asked us to further study, but here it is. You did well after all. We might just follow that footsteps anyway. That's funny.
But that's I would have enjoyed that career, but then you talked earlier about fate, and fate has led.
Yes.
This has led me to the life I'm leading right now, and I wouldn't want to really change it for a
Why do you
life,
think? Is it just pure luck that you were there at the right time, right place, and you basically, stumbled on this? Or is there a bigger thing? Yes.
I mean,
why did it lead you there?
I just, right place, right time.
That's what I thought.
And then I got a couple of quick breaks, and next thing I knew, I was off and running. But I've been fortunate. Other than the downtime from COVID, I pretty much worked consistently for over 30 years.
Even the COVID time when it was all breaking down?
I hadn't. That was a year and a half of nothing happening. So I took that as a time to
no concerts, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just took that as a time to do volunteer work, which is something I always wanted to do, but really wasn't in a position to commit to anything due to my schedule. So, so where I'm at is where I was meant to be.
And are you happy?
Yeah.
Excellent. That's really good. What was that challenge like for you when COVID hit in your industry? I remember reading how, there was just no concert events and all that kind of stuff. And as we all know, that a lot of times the money now is in touring and, soundtracks. It's not like the old days, right? What was that challenge like for you as part of the management team in the music industry? Tell me your name. Are we on? Okay.
I'm Micah.
I'm Antonia.
Antonia, Micah, I'm Zarah, and welcome to the ZarahRocks show. Thank you for joining us and helping us
Thank you.
be a part of this solution. And we want to ask you a few questions. Why do you think the younger generation, like yourselves, are facing more challenges these days?
I think one major reason is not as many support systems for us nowadays. I feel like, especially in the US, it feels very much like an individualistic society, and a lot of like our challenges and our struggles are things that we have to face ourselves. And doesn't seem to be a lot of like support and help for us a lot of the time. So yeah, that's one thing I think for us.
What would you like to see when you're saying we don't have a whole lot of support?
I think bring back third spaces would be very helpful, and just have places for young people and teenagers to be and grow and and speak and just be around and learn skills. Because I feel like a lot of the time, like, we're being thrown out into the world without a lot of the life skills we need.
Guidance and a lot of help. And I understand that this is one of the things that I'm committed to, putting a platform for you guys so you can speak. And entertainment industry is a very powerful industry, as we all know. And I think combining both, I think a lot of times in my experience have helped.
I'm Micah.
I'm Antonia.
And you're watching the ZarahRocks show.
Well, there was really nothing work-wise happening.
God.
So it was just, it took a while for me to find my feet as to what my daily schedule was going to be. And so, but once I started volunteering a lot, it was enough and rewarding enough to not have to go insane. But, I was more concerned for
everyone else.
Well, I was lucky enough. I mean, I was in a decent enough position. Obviously, financially, it was hard for so many people, but I was a little bit better situated than some people. My wife worked, and so we were okay.
Thank God.
I was worried about a lot of my peers and their mental health, but
Yes.
it was good to get back to. It was great when we finally got back to work. But
how were you able to get your feet back after that moment, that challenge?
Honestly, it felt like we just kind of didn't miss a beat. I remember the first thing I did was with Camila Cabello doing Jimmy Kimmel. Not Jimmy Kimmel. We were
whatever it was,
Tonight Show.
Nightly talk shows.
No, the Tonight Show. With
Tonight Show.
Yeah. And of course, we had to go through all the testing and all that stuff. But
that was tough.
But just seeing everybody on the crew and the band, and it was just such a sigh of relief to
I bet.
finally restart. But but you kind of felt like you hadn't been apart for a year and a half.
And the restarting, did that take time too? Or when people started to come back, was that immediate? I know you said you didn't miss a beat.
It was stop and start in a way. Because,
see, I knew it. Sort of like a process as well.
Yeah, there was one tour that I did that it needed to get 6 or 8 dates into it before it was going to make money. And there was always a concern that there would be a COVID outbreak on the tour, and you'd have to shut it down, and everything you work for you're going to just lose money. So people were super cautious.
Yes, and nobody knew, especially in the beginning, 2020. Nobody knew what COVID was about. People were dying left and right. It's not like the COVID these days where, just a little flu, a little cold. Yeah, it was really tough. It's like we've never been hit like that before. It's like, what is this? Everybody's freaking out. And it was actually tough for me as well, because that was the year at the height of when my husband passed.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes. And I was going to say that 2020, at the height of the pandemic, is when I had my extreme difficulty of losing my husband. And it's not because of the COVID, but, he had been ill and bedridden for quite some time. And I was, taking care of him. But it was, I remember how incredibly not only frustrating, but depressing, David, it was. It's like people even wanted to visit you. You can't, I had to fire the
isolation was terrible.
Because I don't know if they've got COVID. Exactly. And I was like, wait a minute. It's like, you're coughing in front of him. I mean, I'd rather have him die the next 2 years as opposed to 2 days. Thank you very much. It was really, really tough. It really tested, I think, everybody's mental health capacity.
Oh, for sure.
And in my case, I mean, I've had that anyway, with or without it, because I was already going through the process of taking care of my husband, and he was already dying. And I knew I was about to face, the darkest trouble in my life. And you couple that with this new, COVID pandemic and, thing. It was just like, oh my God, is the world collapsing? Are we going to what is this? Is this like the end now? It was really, really tough. I think not only, for me, it was tough for a lot of people. And of course, there's some different aspects of it. There's financial toughness, like you said, for other people. But I'm even just talking about solely the mental, the physical, the emotional.
I'm David Ellison, and you're watching the ZarahRocks show.
How I wish it was a different year. I mean, give me that challenge another year, but don't couple that with the year the whole world was collapsing with COVID. That was not, I wish it was done in a different year, but nonetheless, miraculously, David, I'm here talking to you. And thank God for that, ability to, like you said, believe in yourself and just believe that one day things will come together and that things will be back to somewhat normal, and that you somehow will get through this no matter how much hardship you are going through in every aspect of life. And I think that's a big message to send to the younger folks, that, they shouldn't easily give up, and that there is a way. Just hang in there, see through it, and you will get through it. I had a colleague who had a friend who just committed suicide at 43 years old, 2 kids and a wife left behind. And it's like the same message. I'm always like shocked with that, because it's like, man, I just wish in any way could have at least some words, whether it's going to make a difference or not. It's your choice, of course. But the last thing you want to do is give up. That's the most powerful message, I think, for the younger generation that needs to, resonate. So you're absolutely right. You could never stop believing in yourself and believing that somehow, some way, someday, things will be back to norm. So what legacy do you hope to leave behind, David, because of this long career of yours? And I know it's been successful, and being able to, sum it all up, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave behind?
I haven't really thought about leaving a legacy. I don't.
I see.
Yeah.
I understand.
But, I'm just.
Or is there perhaps,
one
day,
just if I made people smile.
That is so precious. Goodness gracious. I love how you simplify things in life. And that's also one of the things I'm big on. I always tell people when things in life get complicated, simplify it, make it simple. Because at the end of the day, tackling hard challenges, tough challenges, dark moments, when you break it down to piece by piece, it is very helpful because I think we as human beings tend to overwhelm ourselves naturally when we encounter, challenges. And so to me, I say, you're going to hear this from others. It's a cliche, one day at a time, but it is so true. One problem at a time, one issue at a time, one day at a time. And you'll get through it because, like I said, life goes on. It never stops. And being able to have that attitude really helps. And I love your answer, puts a smile to faces in this world. And you have no idea how much I appreciate that. I've also been in the industry for quite some time. I've seen it. That's really precious. I think people need to remind themselves that sometimes the simple things that you do to people, and I always say kindness, be kind to people, doesn't cost you a single penny, doesn't cost you a thing. Why would you have the need to be rude and whatnot versus being kind? That to me, when I make people happy, there's no joy like it. I got to tell you, when you give, there's no comparison to that joy that you feel. You ought to try it sometime. That's what I tell people.
What are the top issues you think that you guys are having these days?
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of anxiety about like what we want to do in the future and like what we want to major in and like what our career will look like in the future, and just like deciding on where we want and what do we want for ourselves. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, how we're gonna make a life for ourselves. Yeah.
Got it. And do you think that stress are more prevalent these days in your generation?
I mean, I can't really speak to that. Can't really do a true comparison.
Your generation, though.
But I think that, stress is definitely prevalent in our generation. I think it looks different for every generation. I think ours, like we said, I think it's really focused around this obsession with perception and social media and the internet. I think we're growing up in a really interesting time, especially, with AI on the rise. So many different things factoring in. And I think that also kind of contributes to what we want to do in the future. What is our future going to look like with all of these technological advancements? So yeah, I would say there's stress. I think it's a different type of stress probably than other generations.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
I'm Emma.
I'm Lilia. I'm Savannah.
And you're watching the ZarahRocks show.
And it is true. I mean, to me, with those acts of, kindness and acts of good things, virtues, people, for some reason, virtually everyone that I know who are the kindest and the nicest are super successful and blessed. And I don't think that's a coincidence, if you ask me, I think that's been a great lesson to learn, in life. Are you big on kids listening to music? Do you encourage it?
I don't think I'd say no. I don't discourage it, but I don't know if I interact that way. What they're listening to and what I want to listen to are
two totally different things.
Yeah.
Well, David, I thank you for coming on today. I really appreciate it. You are one of the kindest ones who've always supported kids, and this is why I'm so happy that you are on. You are great in every way, and I hope you don't change. And this is why we're very happy to have you, and kids can learn a lot from you. Sure. Thank you. Great. Well, this is fantastic, David. I thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome,
really
Zarah.
Appreciate it.
Good to speak with you after
it's
so many
great
years.
seeing you. Great talking to you. I will talk to you later then, okay?
All right. Thanks. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
That's it for us for today, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Feel free to leave me any comments or questions you may have, and make sure to tune into our next episode next time. And remember, it doesn't matter how your story begins, it matters how it ends. I'm your host, Zarah. Until next time, I'll be seeing you then. Bye for now.